Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know, and I want to talk about this labeling trend that I see going around. If you let me explain, it's a trend where people categorize other people by analogy. So they say so-and-so is like a cat, or like a dog, or like a wolf, or like this, that, or the other thing, and there's a 1,000 different labels that they'll stick to you, and they're all analogous. Analogous is the word, meaning to convey some kind of impression or meaning about the person. But there's a huge problem here. For example, when you call somebody a cat, sometimes women like to identify as cats playfully. They say, oh, like I have the spirit of a cat, or she's a cat, or, symbolically, if you want to meet a cat, you're actually meeting a girl, and if you use this word in conversation. However, girls are not cats. I want to be clear about this. One thing is not necessarily another thing, and I'm seeing a very disturbing trend with people confusing the symbol for reality across the board. I mention symbols in more than half of my videos, and this is a huge opportunity for people to get back their mental health, among other things. Recognizing something for what it actually is part of being grounded in reality. And the only other alternative is to be delusional by some degree. So when you immerse yourself in a metaphorical, universe, when you say that nothing is true, everything is a matter of opinion, so it doesn't matter what you say, you're becoming delusional at that point. There is a reality that we share between us. And while no person may be able to interact with it directly, that is, you have to get it through your perceptions and your senses, and it's prone to errors when you communicate it because of the opportunities of choosing words and interpretation. That doesn't mean there is no truth. That doesn't mean that there is no shared reality between us. Okay, hopefully that's obvious. We can agree that there's something going on, and okay, well, you can try your best to reflect it with your speech, or you can go the other way and say, it doesn't matter, I don't care anymore, I'm just going to say whatever comes to mind. And I don't care how accurate it is, I don't care how it confuses people, as long as it makes somebody, especially me, feel good in the moment. This is where we're at with it. Do you see the problem? So, for example, another example, if somebody says, I recently watched a video, I was looking for the video, I wanted to link it in the description. It's a short video on YouTube, and it's 3 statements presented with text and music, as many do. And it says that cats only tell you what is wrong after it's too late. Dogs, however, it doesn't matter how much you hurt them, they just keep coming back for more love. Wolves, on the other hand, don't know why they're misunderstood. They can never understand why they're misunderstood, but they also only want love. But everybody's afraid of them. Okay, while these ideas are valid and the analogies are valid, this ties into what I'm saying about people going too far with it. A person isn't a wolf, a cat, or a dog. They're a person. They're actually not even just a human being. They're a specific human being with an identity, with characteristics all their own. They have their own, personality. Every single person has a personality if you take the time to look for it. So to call somebody a cat or a dog or whatever is to dehumanize them. This is a big idea, dehumanization. You see this everywhere lately. You see lots and lots of examples of people being stripped of their identities, stripped of their rights, stripped of their autonomy. They become functions of a system or functions of another person. You do what I tell you, you follow instructions, you obey my commands, or else you get in trouble. You want to stay out of trouble, you want to avoid consequences, you become an aspect of me. You extend me indirectly. You become a useful extension of my purpose. I take your purpose and I turn it into my own. Do you understand how this works? Okay, so overusing, I should say, symbols to describe people is just one more way to strip them of their identity, to disregard their actual personhood, who they are as individuals. And every single person is an individual. W- we are all being attacked right now. As far as I can tell, we as a society are being attacked by unscrupulous administrators and policymakers who are obsessed with domination, obtaining obedience, and they're using advanced psychology and propaganda to get it done, which includes the proliferation of symbol abuse in the form of telling people that they are things or animals or whatever that is not an individual, something that is symbolic of, an idea. It's a symbol regardless. And this is just, it's an attack. It's an attack. And if you don't think you're being attacked, ask yourself, when was the last time you made a decision without permission? I'll wait. Ask yourself, when was the last time you made any decision without permission? You think you're free? You have a green light every morning you wake up. Somebody has decided to let you live, whether you realize it or not, and somebody has decided all along the way what is proper and what you're going to do. And if you're paying close attention, every single thing that you actually do has some tax on it. There's a tax, not a financial tax necessarily, but an energy tax where you're serving their purpose. You're turning a wheel, maybe only a little bit with every single thing you do, sometimes a lot, but you're turning a wheel that deposits energy and sometimes money into their pot. Okay, so the biggest opportunity here, I don't want this to be a huge sprawling video. The biggest opportunity is for people to recognize that it's not all a contest. It's not always a competition. And I see people saying, whose side are you on? There's winners and losers. You're either with us or you're against us. And to frame it that way means that there are just a handful of positions that are worth having, if not only a single position that everything else serves indirectly. And that's not how it's supposed to be. It doesn't need to be that way. There's something called cooperation. There's something called collaboration. There's something called having neighbors who aren't your enemies. Scarcity is not the most important variable in every single equation. But this is what they're telling you. They're telling you that you have to fight to get anything. If you don't fight, you lose. When you approach things this way, it becomes a fight. You tip people off the fence in that direction who were on the fence, who weren't sure how to approach you. If you are adversarial from the start, you create an adversarial situation that cannot be changed. But there's another option. That other option is to approach people with the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes, yeah, it's a little bit risky, but without risk, there's no reward. You cannot win if you don't gamble a little bit. And I'm not a gambler, but I do understand the nature of risk, the role of risk in relationships, especially new relationships, erring on the side of optimism instead of safety every single time, taking a courageous path instead of a cowardly path, going uphill instead of downhill, instead of throwing people downhill just so you can gain an inch. This is where we're at. Everybody thinks that it's a giant brawl, and if you don't take down somebody's going to take you down. These are choices you make every single day. So back to the original subject. I'm at 8 minutes. Using labels like so-and-so's a dog, or a cat, or a shark, or a Volkswagen, whatever you want to call them, is not accurate. If you see a picture on your phone, that's not the person. That's a screen. That's a screen on your phone. I want to be clear about that. And unfortunately, people are super confused about everything right now. A video is not a person. A person is a person, turns out. The only actual person with that name and that identity is the person themselves, in the flesh, when you meet them in person. Everything else is some kind of symbolic reflection. That's all I'm trying to say. Keep it real, okay? For your own sanity, keep it real. You don't have to drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak. And if you don't know what that means, God bless you. You don't have to just believe everything you're told. Question things and regard people with healthy skepticism, a little bit of caution, but not always as enemies. Not everybody's out to get you, I hope. If they are, what are you doing to make people hate you so much? I mean, seriously. Reach out if you like with questions or comments down below. Thank you.